Kind of wait on some people to come in, try out this new show, and so for those of you who watch this later on, this is a new show. I'm probably going to start doing every Saturday night around 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Basically, it's just chill, relaxed, where we all just kind of talk about our experiences, our stories, and stuff like that with cryptids, um, supernatural, paranormal, mythological, folklore, or anything bizarre, really. Um, this is just kind of a fun show to kind of do. We kind of did one yesterday afternoon, turned out fun, and it turned up giving birth to this. So, this is the new show, Campfire Chats with Eric and Guest. Basically, we'll come on here and in the chats and stuff like that, and we'll talk about our experiences. Um, I've had several throughout my life, and yesterday I heard some really good ones from some of the others, and it was a fun time, man. It really was a fun time. Um, Depending on the interaction on these shows, and depending on if DAX Machina's got a show going on that day, will depend on how long this show will last each Saturday evening. Yesterday turned in 2 hours, 46 minutes, and some odd seconds. It was just fun. I mean, we just lost track of time just talking and telling stories. So I thought this would be something fun, something different. You don't get too much of this on YouTube anymore. So I just thought it'd be something fun, man. But as people start coming in and joining the live, then it'll get more entertaining. We don't want to always hear just my stories all the time. I'm interested in your guys' story. So this is a good, safe place. If you have a story and you want to get it out, man, this is a place to do it. It really is. So if you're interested, get on here and let's talk about your experiences, what you've seen, what you've heard. I mean, stuff like that. That's what this platform's for. And then if you catch us later on and you got something you want to share, put it in the comments. I'll look over it. And then next Saturday, if you're available, I'll wait till then to talk about it. Or if you're not available, I'll talk about it. If you're available, we'll let you talk about it. But in this field that we're in the cryptid, the paranormal, the supernatural, mythological, folklore, just ancient stuff, and everything in general, we need safe places to do it. There's no judgment here, regardless if we agree or not. There's no judgment. That's your story. Excuse me. Like I've said before, nobody can tell me what I've saw. I know what I saw. So nobody can tell me, especially if they weren't there, that I didn't see what I saw. And that's kind of what this is for. So I'm hoping this grows into a fun show for everybody just to get on and do. But we'll just kind of see what happens here, see if anybody joins in or not. I'm kind of scrolling over here too, trying to get the word out. This is just kind of one of them deals that just seemed to happen. And hopefully it turns into something good, And so we'll see. We'll see how this happens. And see if we can get some people to come in. I'm kind of anxious to hear what people's been through and what people's seen. So, my formal show, The Bizarre and the Unknown, will still continue on Sundays at 5 o'clock. I will not deviate from that. I love doing that show. That's a fun show. This Sunday, I got a special guest. Um, the Breaking Bad's very own Jesus Payon is going to be on here. We're going to talk about giants. We're going to talk about if they're still here, what happened to them, the history of them. We're just going to talk about a lot of fun stuff. So Sunday nights, the Bizarre and Unknown show is going to be your typical formal discussion show. Where this one's just us being us, man. It's like we're sitting around a campfire giving a chit chat. That's what it's about. So I hope everybody, I hope everybody likes this and has fun doing it. For me, I've had cryptid and paranormal and uh, UFO stuff all over the world. I've had experiences all over the world. Pardon me, I don't know why I'm getting tired all of a sudden. Um, so, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff. I've talked a lot about it on my shows, or on shows that I've been on, and mine. It's, so, I mean, you guys have pretty much heard a lot of mine. There's stuff I can't talk about because of the docu-series I'm in. That has to wait for another time. But, I mean, who knows what happens? Kind of checking out on some other platforms to see how this is working. I want to make sure things are working right. So as I'm doing, I'm kind of bouncing around on some stuff because of that. So I just making sure if things are working right. I know this morning on William Nighthawk's show, we were having a little bit of issues with technical issues, which kind of sucks. But I mean, that's just unfortunately that happens in this field. Really can't get around it, and that's sad. But I mean, it is what it is. So if you guys are looking over this on Facebook or in YouTube, man, come on in. Let's talk. Let's have a fun time here. Gotta change. There it is. If you guys have any stories you want me to do a short story on, email me here, and let's I'll get them out there. If you want to be anonymous, we'll keep you anonymous. If you want your name and stuff put in there, I have no issue doing that too. So, I mean, I do this for you. These shows I do for you. So let's have fun with it. Why are you being a pain in the butt? Huh? Man. Trying to look at some things while I'm waiting on people to come in. Going to be, oops, I think I hit the wrong one. We shall see. Yes, I did. That's what I thought. Hope everybody's having a good day. What are you freaking doing, man? Why you're acting up, I do not know. Finally, we're getting to where I want to be. So, one of the one of my stories, I'm trying to think which would be a good one to have. Being this is a campfire setting, let's start out with a ghost story and see how that goes. My very first paranormal experience has been. Oh man, I'm trying to remember how old I was. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was like, see, my little baby half brother was born, so I would have had to have been somewhere between 5 and 6. I think it was years old, uh, four, maybe 4 or 5. I seen my late grandmother's ghost, and see, in Saint, I was born in St. Joe, Missouri, born and raised St. Joe, Missouri, and we had a house up on King Hill, or not King Hill, Cudmore, up on Cudmore that we lived in. It was a 2-story house, and we the mom and dad's room was here, mine and Curtis's room was here, and in between was the stairs that went down to the first story. And then we had, it was the old style home where the mud room had a door in the floor. You lift it up and you go in the basement. But anyway, so across from one end of the upper floor to the other was our attic, and there was a small room, door in our doorway to our room, and then at the end of our room was opened up, and it was all the attic space right up in there. Well, we used to hear noises coming from there all the time. And so one day I got the nerve and I was like, I'm going to you know, check out this noise. Curtis is like, well, I want to too. And I was like, well, you go check it out. He goes, you're bigger. You go check it out. I mean, it was, typical sibling thing we did. Eventually I end up going to check it out. So I go back there and I see this woman floating, and she held out her arms and she just said, Eric, I love you and I'm always going to be there for you. Scared the holy living crap out of me. I mean, it scared me bad. Um, I was petrified. I mean, I went running from the attic. Didn't want to have anything else to do with it. And later on, I find out that was the ghost of my grandmother. And so that was the first paranormal experience I've ever had. I've dealt with paranormal. I've dealt with paranormal my whole life. Second would have to be UFOs, which my first experience was 5 or 6. No, 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 no. I had to be 6 or 7, because mom wasn't with Curtis's dad anymore. So I was somewhere around 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old, somewhere around in that time frame. And we were down in Forsyth, Missouri. Yeah, I'd had to be. Yeah, it had to be that time. We lived down in, I believe we lived at Rogersville at the time. Um, Anyways, because we moved back and forth between southern Missouri and northern Missouri. So we were always living in St. Joe, Lake Ontario, Balco area up north. Down here, it was Springfield, Rogersville, and where I'm at now, Charity. That's where we live. Was them places my whole life. We moved around a lot when I was young. And Christmas, we was visiting Grandma and Grandpa Steinman in Forsyth the Christmas Eve. And I remember we were going down the road. Of course, this is the 80s. I mean, this was back in the 80s. And back then, we didn't wear seat belts. I spent a lot of time in that dash of the back window. Um, or I'd be leaning backwards looking out the back window. Always thought it was fun to look out the back window while mom was driving them curvy roads. And if anybody knows anything about Forsyth, Missouri area, them roads are curvy. And if my godmother, I just thought about this on a paranormal. If my godmother Mary ever sees this show later on, she knows what grandma looked like. So, and that was who I saw. But anyway, so it's Christmas Eve. It's late. I mean, it's nighttime. We're heading home, and I'm staring out the back window like I love to do. I love staring out that back window, and I see this row of blinking lights. And I told mom, I got excited. Mom, I see Santa Claus. I see Santa Claus. She's like, well, you better get sleep or he ain't going to deliver no Christmas presents, you know. And I'm sitting there just astonished because I get to see Santa Claus flying through the air in his sled. I mean, it was a row of blinking lights just going across the sky. And all of a sudden, that blinking lights went into a circle. Then that circle started spinning, and it started spinning faster and faster and faster and faster, and then boom, shot up in the air. Blew my mind. Of course, back then, I didn't know about UFOs. I didn't know about aliens. You know, I didn't know nothing about that. I thought that was Santa Claus. Man, I got a good story to tell my friends at school. You know, I personally saw Santa Claus flying through the sky. And that was my very first UFO experience. Uh, Hang on, I'll be right back. My dogs are wanting in. They have bad timing. All right, sorry about that. I had to let the monsters in. So, you know, that was my first UFO experience. Hey, how's it going? I don't know who popped in, but hey, if you got a story you want to share about any experiences you have, drop it in the comments here, man. Let's talk about it. That's what this show's about. Um, but that was my first UFO experience. Um, so then it comes to the cryptid side, which is my next most common one. So, I mean, paranormal since I was way little, UFO since I was just a couple of years older. Um, and then you got my first, you know, cryptid experience. And this one I could talk about. Um, so I was, see, dad was dating mom at the time. So I was around 12, 13 when this happened. And we were up in St. Joe, Missouri at my great grandpa's place. So me, my half brother, and my soon to be two step brothers were we were all playing hide and go seek in the woods. Um, which up at my grandpa's, most of his property was fenced off for cattle, even the woods. So I'm running down this cow trail along the fence next to my uncle's house, running down it. I was hiding, And my brother, I can't remember. I want to say it was Josh who was it at the time. I can't remember exactly who was it. It was either Josh or Jeremy. I can't remember. Then shortly after, Curtis got tagged a lot. Curtis couldn't move as fast as we did, so he was like easy pickings for us. So the age grade goes between my stepbrothers and my half brother. It's, you know, me, Josh, Jeremy, Curtis. Uh, Curtis and I have been uh, brothers since I was 3. He was born when I was 3. And then when I was 13, when Dad married Mom, is when Josh and Jeremy came in. So I don't think they were married yet. So I'm pretty sure I was probably 12 when this happened. So man, I made a wide run around the tree line, came back up this cow trail, then all of a sudden I found a footprint. It looked like a human's footprint, that freaking big, in this cow field. And I had just went through there a couple minutes prior to this. And I remember great grandpa telling me, "Boy, stay out of the wood. Momo's been spotted." And I always, man, grandpa's just pulling our leg. You know, grandpa's joshing us. That's what grandpa always does. You know, grandpa likes to josh you and pull your leg. Ever since then, I was a firm believer. Grandpa wasn't joshing us. Grandpa wasn't pulling our leg. Grandpa was right. Momo was there. For those of you who don't know who Momo is Missouri Monster. It's Missouri's Bigfoot. That's what Momo means. So I hightailed it back to Grandpa's house, and I told Grandpa, I said, "Grandpa, you weren't lying. Momo's real." And he goes, "Yeah, boy, I told you." So that was my first cryptid encounter. And like I said, I was like 12, 13. I'm pretty sure I was like 12. Um, I'm pretty sure Dad and Mom was still dating. I don't think they were married at the time. That was so long ago, I can't remember exact details to it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was. So, I don't know. I mean, that's mine. We had somebody in here for a minute, and they done ducked out. I may not have a big showing this week, but it's a kind of trial run. I may try to do this again next week, see what happens. If I don't get anybody on here for too long, I'll probably just shut it down. We'll just have to see. 'Cause I'm for sure y'all just don't want to hear me talk all the time because I ain't no different from my other show. So I got this show for you guys. I love interacting with you guys. I love hearing your stories. That's why I've got this show here. This is so that we can all talk together on this. But and if those of you who catch us later on, I'm just because you weren't on here live doesn't mean I don't want to hear your stories. I love that stuff. That to me, one of the best parts of this field and doing research is hearing the encounters from the people who had it. I love that type of stuff. That is my go-to, one of my go-to things. If you got an encounter, I want to know about it. I like to hear about it. I didn't sleep good last night. I'm still getting over this longest sinus stuff. So you guys forgive me for yawning. But that's why I do all this is because, hey, Ozzy, how you doing? But I'm not, just because I'm still doing sinus stuff and lung stuff doesn't mean I'm not going to get on here, man. I love doing this with you guys. So, is it still raining there, Ozzy? What, bud? What do you want, butthead? You're starting to turn into an internet whore. You know that? I've made a monster out of you. Come over here where it's easier, Dodo Brain. Come on. Oh, over here. My gosh, hold on. Yeah, same here. All right, come here now. There. My gosh, you're getting to be such an internet whore. It is here. It's finally stopped here and it's starting to get foggy. Say hi to everybody because that's what you want to do. Look at me. I'm popular. I'm on the internet. I see you. I see her. Oh, come on, you jealous thing. Um, for those of you get a chance, if you watch my live from yesterday, it's where I'm editing. Yeah, he's a little butthead. I like him though. He gets a. I think I'm created an internet monster with him. Oh no, you just want to look at me. I'm innocent. I ain't doing nothing wrong. Well, the camera's right here if you want to look. The camera's right there. I'm sure they don't want to look at your butt. No, not the face. Uh, it finally quit raining here and got foggy. Uh, Set still, bud. Set still, or I won't put you down. Now quit. Behave. Behave. So, this is what I deal with a lot, Ozzy, with him. He's very, very spoiled, very, very stubborn, very, very hard headed. Yes, you are too, Thor. I know you want down there at my feet. Get down there, buddy. Set still. I'm not. You're going to end up thunking your head again because you're flopping around like a fish out of water. Don't try to play innocent. You got caught on camera. You're busted now. You're on interweb. Thousands of people will see this. You're busted. You try to pretend you're innocent. Um, so I'm kind of curious, Ozzy. Do you have any more encounters that you didn't talk about yesterday? It's a cat goofing off. You know, there's not a lot of room under there, Thor. You're laying up against my feet, bending them back, bud. You're heavy. Um, Because I found your stories yesterday interesting. Um, I had told my first paranormal experience a little bit ago, my first UFO. It just makes it difficult when you're like right up here. You can't be lower. Oh, that's right. If you're lower, they can't see you, huh? Oh, see, now you know where the camera is. You're looking at it. It's like, look at me. I'm sweet and innocent. What are you growling about? Huh? What are you growling about down there? You ain't got nothing to growl about. Oh, that's why both of you was under there too. Oh, well, cool. Let's hear about it. Hey, get off of there. I say get off of there. Go on. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go to the bed. Go to the bed. Now you're being a butt. Go on. Go on. We're not playing this game. You're gonna behave. You're gonna end up tearing my stuff down again because you animals don't know how to behave. This ain't a play area back here. Kids. Uh, so what else happened? Because I'm interested in what happened there, Ozzy. Uh, Change this up real quick. to that one while we're doing that. I actually had interesting stuff happen last night. So when William and I was trying to go live last night, while we're waiting in the back room and talking, the dogs and I heard a thump on my porch, which is not uncommon. Oh, there we go. She had a big wooden cross nailed on the wall above her bed. Then one night she was sleeping, something ripped off the cross and it landed on her feet. Way it did just fell that far. Yeah. You know what's weird is that I've heard that several times before. That is not the first time I've heard something like that. That is definitely more than a spirit, I would say. I mean, a spirit could do it, but I'm wondering if that ain't more. That is kind of cool. That really is. What is this stuff? I want to hit something different while we're talking real quick. Well, that didn't really change anything. Huh. But I've heard that story from paranormal encounters before. Last night, I mean, out here when my guests are in the area, it is not uncommon to hear thumping on my porch, thumping on my window, or hearing something outside my windows. And last night, William and I was talking, and I heard something thump on my porch, which had the dogs going nuts. So I knew I'd heard it because they were going nuts. And I'll admit, I'm still a little jumpy from the other weekend. Okay, but we can't do this. So I got up, check it out. The dogs are at the door wanting out. They're like, okay, what's going on? Thor, my pit bull, he runs outside at the edge of the porch and just looking around like, what's going on? And once he was happy, he didn't see nothing. He came back inside. So I came back inside. And then for the rest of the night, man, I've left that part. Before that thump on the porch happened, I heard something bang down at my old trailer, which I told Williams, like, man, I just heard something bang down there. And then a few minutes later, when we had that thump up here on the porch, I went and checked it out, didn't see nothing, came back inside, tried to go live, and we couldn't do it. So the rest of the night, I kept hearing thumping on my porch and stuff out here going on. Ooh. I'm hoping we get some more people in here. Some old house she was renting. We was up recording records onto tapes before I headed home to Queensland. Well, it was winter, raging fire going all of a sudden. My brother and my son started. Man, I remember recording songs off the radio on cassette tapes. You had your mixed party tapes for partying, your mixed tapes for whatever, and then you always made them love tapes for your special lady. Before I headed home to Queensland, well, it was winter, raging fire going all of a sudden. Yeah, my brother was started. Oh, I can't wait to hear the other part of this. It just like the fire just goes. Whoosh. You have some interesting paranormal crap you deal with, Dozzy. I ain't gonna lie. For someone who hasn't left your area very much, man, because I mean I've seen a lot of stuff too, but I've traveled the world. started screaming. There was a big bat flying around their room. No way it could have gotten in, as everything was locked up because of the cold weather. Wow. Hey, everybody just who just came in? How's it going? Uh, that is interesting, Ozzy. So they actually saw a big bat. Now, question: did you have a wood fireplace or a wood stove? Oh, that would tell me she was there. Same place we smelt my grandfather's old tobacco smell, and he wasn't smoking. Interesting. Open fireplace. Okay. So, I mean, with an open fireplace, that's one way they could have got in. But if you've been burning wood for a while before that happened, then yeah, I'd say that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. I mean, because if it was like the first fire of the year, I could see where it could have been a bat that actually came in, because it's not uncommon for bats to hide out in fireplaces like that. But if you've been burning wood for a while, they ain't gonna be hiding in there with that smoke. Yeah, yeah, that's hmm. So it took the form of a bat. That is wicked. And bats, well, no, they may be different in Australia. I know here you don't see bats in the winter, but you guys in Australia really don't get winter like we do here. So I'm not sure how it works there. So I mean, it's possible too. But man, yeah, if you've been burning that long and there ain't one that snuck in through the doorway when you guys are getting in and out of the house, yeah, that's pretty cool. Will you get off of that? You are a butt. No, we would have noticed if it came down the chimney and it would have gotten into the boy's bedroom as the doors. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, whatever that entity was took the form of a bat. And I'm guessing. I mean, it's not uncommon for a malevolent entity to take a shape of your fear. So if the boys were scared of bats and it was feeding off of their fear, I can actually see them taking the shape of a bat, so that way they can harvest the fear of your boys. That's actually, there's stories, a lot of encounters like that happen out there. So, wow, that's cool. That is really cool. I know one thing. If I ever get a chance to go back to Australia, if that old settlement home is still on Shellwater Bay training area, I really want to go there and do a paranormal investigation there. If I remember right, being you're in Queensland, I think Shellwater Bay training area is what, 2.5 hours from you, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's been over 20 years since I've been there. Well, after all that, she moved out after that, and she was never afraid of anything before all this. I mean, I can't blame her, and that's the thing too. Ozzy is so many uh, people that have never experienced paranormal, didn't believe in paranormal. When they have their first experience, it like petrifies them, and they're scared of the littlest thing ever since. I want to look that up because I'm trying to remember. I mean, granted, like I said, it's been 20 going on 23 years since I've been to Australia. I haven't been there in a long time. Let's get on good old Google Maps because I'm wanting to say Queensland ain't that far from Shellwater Bay training area. Yeah, search for that. Then I got to do another destination. Uh, Shellwater Bay, Australia. Not Shoalwater. What the heck are you doing, you freaking idiot thing? My God, you irritate me sometimes, Google. Why do you keep changing what I. Hey, Ray. Sorry, I'm trying to look something up here. And this thing keeps changing what I'm trying to look up. Shellwater Bay training. Why did they change the name of it to Urban Operations Training Facility? Why isn't not giving me what I want? Let's just go to Street Google here and try to find it this way. Because I know it was by. It might be, and that might be why I'm not finding it. Because I know we weren't far from Rockhampton. Because we spent time in Rockhampton, and we spent time in Brisbane. Let me just do it. It may be the only way I could do it. Is I may just have to rough estimate from Brisbane. Brisbane's in Queensland. Okay. Oh, I forgot to hit the Google Maps. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So, I mean, you're probably right close to where Shellwater Bay training area used to be. Because man, I spent a lot of time in Brisbane. I spent time in Rockhampton. Um, while I was there, so Shellwater Bay training area has to be in that area. I was thinking the Queensland Zoo was like a couple hours ride from where we were, but I could be wrong. I'll zoom in on the Rockhampton area and try to find Try to find it that way. Because if I can get up there and I can get back into Shellwater Bay training area, because I was up there for Operation Tandem Thrust 2001. So that's when I was there. Okay, there's there's Rockhampton. Okay. Rockhampton to Brisbane. Let me narrow this down a little bit. Oh, wow, that's further apart than I remember. Oh, goodbye, Ozzy. I hope everything goes good. Man, it may be that new place then, Urban Training Center. I've got to look that up. If I ever get a chance to go back to Australia, I want to do it. How you doing today, Ray? Have you got any encounters you want to share on the show tonight? Close that out because I don't need to be in it. This new show here, this is my relaxed form, just all of us kind of getting together and shooting the poo, I guess you can say, just having a fun time telling our stories about our experiences. I was looking up Shellwater Bay Training Area, Australia, uh, because there was an old settler's home that I'd seen while I was there. And the story is the family in that home got massacred by the Aborigines. Uh, I felt a pull to that home, and I thought it was paranormal at first. And then when I put my foot on the first step, I smelt something kind of funny, and it wasn't like a paranormal fear. It was a totally different fear, which is I'm speculating was probably Yowie. There might have been a Yowie hiding in there. But when you got 100 plus, 200 plus people sitting out there, I mean, even a Yowie's not going to be brave enough to jump out when we all got rifles. Have you got any encounters, of any kind? Well, let's hear about them. I mean, man, I love hearing stories like this. But that's why I was looking up Shellwater Bay Training Area because when I go back to Australia, I really want to do a paranormal investigation on that old settler's home. Minnesota and Wisconsin. Man, y'all got some dang winters up there, bad boy. We think we got winters here in Missouri. We ain't got crap what you guys got up there. My cousin used to guide hunt up in Wyoming and Minnesota. Now he's just a horse wrangler. I think he might be in Wisconsin now. I can't remember. When I was upstairs apartment in 2006, I was in my upstairs apartment in 2006. It's man, apartments. There's a lot of paranormal activity that happens in apartments. I don't know why. I think it's because the multiple people in and out, in and out, and I was trying to figure out why I had things on my counter, or trying to figure out why I had things on my counter were on the floor. Man, oh man. Oh, okay, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had things fly off here and I'd blame it on the cats, come find out the cats weren't even in that area. So I started to Set up cameras, every room, hallway. Yeah. Oh, please tell me you caught something. Oh, please tell me you caught something. I would love to see that video if you did. Oh man, do you still got that video? I caught dark figures moving around. Oh, I bet you was freaked out when you saw that. I know if I saw something like that, I'd be like, well, crap. How do I want to handle this? It'd have me kind of looking over my shoulder. Have I got anything watching me today? Man, if you still got that and you wouldn't mind me sharing that on my YouTube channel, oh, I'd do it. I love seeing stuff like that. Freaky as hell, but yes. Oh no. Oh, it dropped that much. Had a temp sensor out, 84.3 degrees Fahrenheit, dropped 30 degrees Fahrenheit on the spot. Holy cow, dude. That is a lot of energy being pulled right there. Temp dropped in 5 minutes. That is a lot of energy being pulled. Wow. I mean, and that 5 minutes is pretty quick too. Of course, if you got multiple shadow figures, I can see that being the case too. Man, that's a huge drop. That's a huge drop. Man, that's 54.3 degree drop. That is in 5 minutes. That's like 10 degrees a minute. Holy cow. That's a big drop very quick. You had a lot, either one entity or several entities, but you said you caught several shadow figures. Pulling that much energy out to drop the temperature like that quick, that's wow. That is interesting. That's cool. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I definitely would love to see that video. I could do a short story on that video. I need to try to get some videos myself that I can put out there. If I can get people to send me stuff like that on my email account for encounters and stories, um, man, I'm going to start, like I did with Rachel's encounter, and do short movies or short stories on them. Had outside camera pointed at the front door as I had one camera pointed at the front door. You could see the deadbolt unlocking itself. Oh, wow. And what's sad is that there's so many cases like that out there in the paranormal field. There's so many cases of them unlocking doors, moving stuff. I mean, you go out of the room, come back in a few minutes later, and all their crap's piled up in the damn center of the floor. Chairs, I mean, just everything being moved or thrown. You got a real violent one when it starts throwing stuff. When they're throwing stuff, it's time to evict them. That's something evil. That's more dynamic than anything. Yeah, it's so, and that's what I find interesting about the paranormal field because everybody think ghosts they ain't got no physical being to them. So how can they do the stuff to do? But yet they stack stuff, they move stuff, they throw stuff, they unlock stuff, they open stuff, they slam stuff. Oh crap! You had a portal. I sensed 145 spirits merging on the one spot in my home. Question: was it located at a certain object? If they're merging into one spot in your home, what object was it they were focused on? No shit. It was so cold, I watched a case of soda blow up. Wow. So they were focused on the hallway. What was in the hallway? What objects did you have in that hallway? And if you didn't have nothing in the hallway, I don't blame them. I mean, that's something. When you're having something like that go on, that's not good. That's not good at all. The only thing was, so they definitely wasn't attached to anything. So I mean, that's a portal or a gateway, however you want to call it, um, to either A, another dimension, or B, gates of hell, man. Uh, that's interesting. What'd you find out? Did research on the house. Let me guess. Old burial ground. I'm kind of curious if that's what it is. But that many entities. No joke. Interesting. House was built in 1857. 9 owners died mysteriously. Very interesting. Did it tell you what the cause of deaths were on them people? Were they? Yeah, because I'm curious on how similar their deaths were, ages. I'm still kind of curious if that house was built on an old burial ground. 1857. It'd either be an old Native American burial ground, see up in Wisconsin, so it wouldn't be colonial. Could have been Viking though. Could have been an old Viking burial ground. 9 owners died mysteriously. They had something in common, either the house or something else in common. They had that many mysterious deaths in one home. So I mean, that house would be. I sensed one female dance hall saloon, beautiful woman, 1870s era. Seen her in dreams, and that's spirits have been reported to visiting people in dreams, or It could also be interpreted what you think is a dream, but it's not a dream. Let's see. 1857, what was happening in Wisconsin, 1857? I think that was just starting to, it was just starting to get a big push of people in there. I still think back then, if I mean, I got to remember, I got to do research. I think it was still predominantly Native American land back then. So 1857 might have been the start of a big push of white settlement. One side of her face was normal, her right side was gone. As I caught him, a figure with a very angry man. Hmm. Interesting. So the right side of her face was gone. So she was either caught in Albert Lee Min. I want to look that up real quick. I found things of her and him. Wow. He was her pimp. Oh. Oh. That kind of makes sense. So, Albert Leah, Minnesota. Well, if I could type today, we'd be doing all right. House was 3 blocks from the lake on a limestone rock. Oh, limestone, man. Limestone is very, very conductive. Hey, everybody just came in. How's everybody doing today? 1850s. Okay. So yeah, that's like the start of the push up in there. Albert Lea is a city in Freeborn County in southern Minnesota. It is the county seat. Its population 18,492 on a 2020 census. And there's a lot of lakes around there. There's a lot of lakes around there, Ray. Let's see, where was that spot at? Oh, I need to aerial. I want 2 lakes. Yeah, 'cause I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 little ones and 1 big one. Unless I'm looking at them wrong. Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit because they look like lakes from here. Fountain Lake, okay. There's a big one just north of you guys there. That's Freeborn Lake. Alberta Lake. or Albert Lake, sorry. Albert Lake here. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at that one there. Ooh, look at that train in that area. There's Pickerel Lake, White Lake, Albert Lake. Come on, give me the name of these. So this must be this. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's one big one. It's just got a highway that crossed over. So give me the lake name, though. I want the lake name of this one. Yeah. It's not giving me the. It's got Lakeview Boulevard, but it's not giving me the name of the lake. I don't know why. It's being stubborn. Zoom in a little closer. I want to know the name of this lake here. I thought it was two separate ones, but I see it was a. There's a small gap that a road goes over. Raymond Avenue. Oops, wrong spot. I want to get back to where that road crossed. There it is. No, that was the right spot. Wow, that's like a very narrow spot that thing goes around. Yeah, and so yeah, I found that Albert Lea Lake. This one here, it's got Lake Boulevard that goes around it. It's got like one small area where it connects to the other one. When you look at it at a distance, could be. Yeah, I'd say so because it looks like it's different height than train. It might be. Yeah, that might be. And it's not giving me the name of it. Huh. I'm looking at all that terrain around. Man, there's a lot of green runoff. Is that green algae? There's a lot of green runoff in that lake. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it has here. It says that road that goes over it is. You want to be a pain in the butt now. You were giving me names. Now you're not giving me names. I see how you are. Lake Boulevard. Okay, so so that's the one I'm looking at then. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out because it's not giving me the name of the lake, and I know it's separate from Albert Lake. Yeah, man, but just look at that terrain around there. There's a lot of farmland, but there's a lot of cities too. Edgewater Park. Okay, what's all that green stuff that's leaching out from there in Fountain Lake? Right there at that spot where the road goes over it, and then north Eagle View Circle. Right around there is like a lot of green stuff leaching out into the lake. There's a little pond here next to Eagle View Circle that's really green too, like a lot of algae. There's a lot of algae in that area because there's a couple more ponds too. And man, they're chock full of algae. Country Club Road. Huh. Man, there's more algae there at the corner of Edgewater Drive and Lake Boulevard. You guys use a lot of fertilizer? Ah, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. It's actually, Alberta Leah's. That's actually a pretty big little spot there, really. Huh. Sits in between I-90 and I-35. US 65 goes through it. Wow, that's a big area. I want to take a look at something else. Is that, see there? You got that big ass forest that looks like. So you're at the very southern part of Minnesota. Looks like dragon whiskers. That's what I was thinking. That's why I was saying that. It's like that's why I was asking if you had a lot of fertilizer because that's a lot of algae. That's a lot of algae. And what's cool is I'm zooming in on some areas to the east of you, and how that terrain is set up, and how it looks like stuff has been spread out, is known to be the fallen giants' blood. They're decaying, and their blood leached out, and where it leaches out, you find a lot of green, and that's how this stuff is leached out. Looking from a higher elevation look at it, that is one way if you're looking for like old dragons or old giant remains from the flood era. Is something you look for, is that there, and how this is all swirly and green and stuff looking up there. It's all around, mainly north of White Mouth Lake. That looks like, if I can get my computer to do better, man, it looks like runoff from a decaying giant. If I can get a bigger view of it, try to get a shape. Man, and that's a big shape. That shape goes from Canada all the way down around north of you, northern part of Minnesota, Wisconsin, north of the Great Lakes, and across. That's big. That almost looks like a freaking dragon. That is cool. I love stuff like that. That's why I love talking to everybody, because you get to find new stuff and learn new stuff. And I was just kind of scrolling around when I seen that. Yeah, I can see, because limestone is a big conductor for paranormal. Limestone and running water is like a battery for paranormal. Albert Lea was a Confederate colonel from Texas as a engineer during the Civil War invasion of the North. Guess who he was with? The son of Daniel. No kidding. Albert E. Lea. That is some cool history, Ray. That's some really cool history. Wow. I gotta change my banner up here real quick. That's some really cool history, bub. Yeah, I mean, judging by what I could see in that area there, I can see how you have, because you got a lot of the right stuff in that area for paranormal activity. The fact that you had 100, what was 140, 145. Let me scroll back up there. 145 coming to. What'd you find? Kind of curious of that. But the fact that you had them all locating, coming to one single spot in your house, that's an interdimensional door or portal or whatever you want to call it. They changed the name of it. Seriously. It's now called Marion Ross Performance Center. Eh, quit changing names of stuff. What'd you find out on your research? another dark figure on the third floor. So you got a lot of dark figures up there. Every time I hear dark figures, man, I just think of malevolent, something bad. And this could be because of color black, but when you're having activity you had in your apartment and they were all black figures, stands the reason why I think that every time I hear about one. You dogs, I can't even move my feet because you guys are all right there. What are you doing, butthead? Is that the only thing you caught? Was that dark figure on the third floor? I'm going to move this mic closer to me real quick. It's because I like to lean back sometimes. I mean, I've seen my fair share of dark figures. I mean, you got different stories about them too. So not all of them can be malevolent, I'd say. But there seems to be a lot of them that are. There's a lot of paranormal stories where they see a spirit or a ghost, whatever you want to call it, that darts back and forth in the same spot every time, just about every night, about the same time. That's residual. But there's a lot to not. Dusted the stage with fine dust footprints. Went across it with sound recorded on high heels. Went to the back of the stage through the wall. Wow. You did 2 weeks there. So lucky. You're so lucky. So, man, yeah, you're catching a lot of good stuff. Wow. The fact that you actually got the footprints in the dust, that's pretty good. That's really good. So it could have been a deceased performer on stage, high heels. Very well could have been. How many reports of deaths have been at that theater? Holy crap. Found out the place was used as a morgue during the flu deaths, over 500 people. Well, yeah, stands the reason why you're there's a lot of activity there. There's a lot of deaths in that small place. Wow. That's freaky, man. And it's been a theater its whole existence. Hey, everybody's just coming in. You guys got any stories you want to share, man? Let me know. We'll talk about them. Has it always been a theater just temporarily used as a morgue during the flu pandemic? I mean, yeah, I can see that, and that's why they'd be using the theater as a morgue. I can really see that. Did a lot of researching up in the area and found out that the city morgue at the hospital got filled up. I can definitely see that being the case, which is not uncommon. I mean, look at all the pandemics we'd had in our lifetime. When morgues get filled up, they always find another place as a temporary morgue. So I mean that's not uncommon, and I'd say that's a pretty big place, pretty centralized. That'd stand to reason why they'd use it as that. It was actually used as a recreational fitness center when it was originally opened. I didn't know they had them back in the 1800s. Huh. Learn something new every day. I mean, I guess if you had a lot of rich people, they would do. It's kind of like a country club thing. Or was it used during that time as a recreational? I guess I should ask. Hey, that's cool. I'm glad you're sharing this. You're right, bud. Knucklehead. Um, oh, okay, okay. I thought you was talking about. It was like in the 1800s and stuff like that. They had them. What we call movie theaters now used to be a theater back then was where people got up on stage and performed. I didn't know they had fitness centers in the 1800s. That's interesting. Very interesting, actually. Hey, everybody coming in. How you guys doing today? Man. Oh, do you happen to have the pictures and the videos of the footprints and the audio catching the footsteps? And I'll tell you what, if you're interested, Ray, um, email me if you want me to. This is if you want me to. Um, I'll do short stories on all your stuff you've ever captured. We do like different ones, like apartment, theater. Email me all the rec was early 1900s. I didn't even know they had them back then. I knew they did it like country clubs. That's cool. Um, where I can accumulate them all together and tell your story if you're interested. I would love to do a short story on stuff that you've encountered. And I'll use your name if you want me to. If you don't, I won't. But then again, I mean, we're talking about it on live now, so I guess it wouldn't bother you. But man, that would make a good short story video. I mean, that's the two places that you've had it is the apartment and that. Oh, okay. So that is a fairly, I mean, that's just within the 30 years they've been doing that. So, man, that place has been multiple things. That building's been multiple things through its existence. That is cool. That is cool. But I mean, especially with 500 deaths in there. Wow. Yeah. I can see why that place would be haunted. I really can. That's a lot of deaths in a short time frame in one place. You have it, do you? If you're interested, I mean, you ain't got to by no means. I love getting people's stories out there. If you're interested in me doing something like that, I'll put that email back up here. Man, email it to that. I'll spend some time putting it together. I definitely get your story out there. I just need to know the details of each thing. But yeah, I'd do that for you. I'd get your story out there. I love stuff like that. And it's just not anybody who's watching now or watches later. If you want the same thing done, email me to this, all your informations, anything you have on what you want me to get out there. I do. I love everything paranormal, cryptid, supernatural, mythological, folklore, just bizarre. And I love that kind of stuff. That's why I do this. Is that stuff there? Sorry, still dealing with that lung and sinus stuff. That thing got me quick. That one actually came up from nowhere. Email me here, guys. I will definitely get your story out there. I love this stuff. This is what keeps me going. Is this stuff right here? This is why I do what I do. I love this stuff. And if we don't, I mean, if we don't have the stories to back up what we talk about, then you will never get people to wake up to reality of what's out there. That's why I do these shows. That's why I offer to get your stories out there because we need them out there so that people can start understanding that for one, they're not alone. Two, that stuff is really there. Three, yes, it can be scary, but it can be awesome at the same time. I'm not going to, I mean, there ain't much that scares me. There's only been a few times in my life that I can actually say I've been thoroughly scared. But even I'll tell you, even on paranormal stuff that I've dealt with in my life, there is times that you can just feel that you're like, man, something is about to happen. And I've always been told that it's not so much my fear that I feel, it's their fear because of what we as um, humans and living beings, the power that we possess, and they fear that. So I mean, you got a lot of stuff then, Ray. Have you ever put your stuff out there, or have you just done it like this? First time I was with my granddad on the second floor bathroom. Everything was set and ready. Grandpa and I heard a loud noise. We went in the bathroom and paper towels were all over the place. Oh my gosh. That was in 2002. Wow. I mean, I've been dealing with paranormal stuff since the 80s, but man. So my question to you, Ray, your first paranormal experience, and I made this earlier when I started this live. How scared were you? Your very first paranormal experience. I've had my encounters upstate Minnesota. Wow. Never shared it. I mean, you let me know, buddy. I have no issue if that's what you're interested in. I'll do it for you. I'll definitely do it for you. I have no issue at all. And I'm glad and thank you for coming on here today and doing this and sharing this with me today. I mean, this is amazing stuff, Ray. This is really amazing stuff, bud. This is, I mean, I really, really appreciate you coming on here today and sharing your stories with me. That's what this is about. This is Campfire Chats with Eric and Guest. You guys are my guests, man. We're chatting about our stuff. It's fun. This is what it's supposed to be. This is why I created this, and the fact that you're doing this, man, hits me here, bro. It hits me here. I love it and I appreciate it. Civic theater was your first time. Wow. But were you ever scared your very first experience? Was it like me? The first time I had my paranormal experience was my late grandmother, my mom's mom, scared the holy living shit out of me, and I was in Cudmore, St. Joe, or on Cudmore Street in St. Joe. But I was little. I was little. I was like 5, 6 years old. I was little, scared the holy living tar out of me. Have you seen Grays? And oh, please, pray tell. I've never seen any aliens that I know of. I've just seen a lot of UFOs. I've seen a lot of UFOs. See, in my experience, I was talking about this at the beginning of life. The most experience I've had, my very first was paranormal. A few years after that was when I started having UFO. Yeah, I mean, I was too, Ray. I'm not going to sit there tonight. I'm an old Marine grunt, NCO, and I can tell you now, and I'm a farmer and stuff like that. I live in the woods with things that want to eat me every day. I don't get scared easy, but I'll tell you now. I mean, granted, yes, I was 5 years old back then. Scared the tar out of me. It scared the tar. But I've had paranormal longer, UFO shortly after, and then I had a nice little gap in between them before I started having cryptid experiences. So I've been dealing with paranormal since I was 4 and 5. Um, I've been dealing with UFOs since I was like 6 or 7. I've been dealing with cryptids since I was like 12 or 13. And I'm 44. I'll be 45 here in a few months. My my education when it comes to this stuff, I never went to classes. I never done this OCS, baby. There's a term we have in the military called I have OCS training on city streets. Every bit of experience, every bit of knowledge I have, not every bit, majority of it has been personal experiences for me. Yeah. And I'll admit, I mean, the only experience I ever had, I was never scared at first was the UFO because I thought it was Santa Claus. If I knew what UFOs were back at that age when I had my first UFO sighting, and I knew it was a UFO, not Santa Claus, probably would have been a different outcome. But I wasn't scared because I thought it was Santa Claus. It was Christmas Eve. I mean, it was like around 10 o'clock midnight when it happened. I thought it was Santa Claus. We were heading home from my grandparents' house, and we lived in. I don't remember if we lived in Springfield at that time. Springfield was another place I lived in a lot when I was younger, but I can't remember if it was Springfield or Rogersville. Uh, but yeah, when my grandpa died in 2004, I was at the cemetery. I happened to see my dad, my two grandpas in their uniforms under an oak tree by the lake in Alberta. No kid. Wow. That's some straight up Star Wars stuff right there. That is awesome to see them three together. That is awesome. They are letting you know that they were there. That even though their physical body was gone, their spirit was there, still there for you. That's what they were letting you know. That's what I believe. Interesting. 2012, I was followed by I believe it was a Bigfoot in southeast Minnesota. What did you just hear? Footsteps or steps or and branches breaking, or did you hear hoops or howls or hollers? Now, cryptids is the one thing that I'm actually learning more on research. Even though I've had a lot of experiences with them, I learn more on research because I've just not been I've not had the access to the information with Bigfoot as I did. I mean, my actions was my grandpa and my experiences. Smelled like wet burlap and rotten smell. Oh, did it seem aggressive? I mean, count your blessings. It wasn't one type of Bigfoot because probably wouldn't be here having this conversation right now. Yeah, loud tree snappings. I'm almost betting it was trying to tell you to get the hell out of its area. Tree limbs. Yeah. That sounds like they were trying to tell you you need to get out of here. You probably stumbled into their hunting ground. I mean, if it was a certain type of Bigfoot, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. If it was that style right there, let me get my finger working right. That style right there, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Oh yeah, man, I would almost bet you stumbled into his hunting ground. I'd say some of them was probably trying to run you off, and he was a long ways away. Then he was calling the other guys back. Could be wrong. I mean, I don't know for sure. That's just my guess. Then I heard one 200 yards away. I never went back. I don't blame you. I mean, if you're not used to it, it's a scary deal. It really is a scary deal if you're not used to it. Jasmar Diaz, thank you for subscribing. Ah, man. Yeah, I mean, most of my Bigfoot encounters here, I call them my guests. So if you ever hear me on a show talking about my guest, that's the Bigfoot that I have living around me. For the most part, it's pretty calm, pretty chill, pretty peaceful. We live together quite nicely. We have an understanding and a respect for each other. They know I'm not out there wanting to kill them. They're not. They know. I mean, I leave them. What if I kill something to eat and there's something that I don't eat on it? I leave it for them and they eat it. There's only been, I mean, what few times I've actually had that feeling that I need to get out. I'll generally stay out unless I absolutely have to go in them woods. Then I'm packing my 7 mag, but I don't get messed with because they know that I'm not actually there for them. And I get my stuff done and I get out quick. I don't linger around. So they know that. There's only been one time that I've actually had that I 100% feel I was being hunted, and that was a couple weekends ago. When I was moving, it was following me. Yeah, see, and that's very common. It stopped when I reached my truck. Yeah, I guarantee you, my theory, my opinion on that situation was they were telling you to that you need to go, that you don't belong here. If I think they wanted, if they, that's not, I think, if they really wanted to hurt you, we wouldn't be talking right now. If they really wanted to hurt you, they would hurt you. So to me, it sounds like they were trying to tell you, you need to go. I mean, there is so many reports out there dealing with Bigfoot that is that same way. Um, so, I mean, that is not uncommon at all. That's fascinating, man. That really is fascinating. Changing my banner up here. So, I mean, usually, oh man, never mind. I can't talk about that right now. No, I'm under contract. Um, I catch myself having to stop when it comes to Bigfoot stuff because there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about right now. Because I'm part of that docu series with Linda Eastburn, so I'm under contract. I can't, once all that's out, then I can start sharing my stuff. Then, which I'll probably do a regular show on Sunday night, dealing with all the stuff that I found. I love this stuff. This is I always have. I mean, I've always been fascinated ever since my first experiences with paranormal, my first experiences with UFO, my first experiences with cryptid. I've always had a love for the mythological and the folklore, and it's just the stuff out there that people don't know. I've always had a love for it. And that's why I love doing this stuff. 2006 on Lake Portage at 10 p.m. fishing walleye when the stars disappeared as a large craft slowly moving north across from the south to the north over Lake Winnipena. I hope I'm saying that right, Minnesota. Interesting. Did you happen to catch the shape of it? Bina. I said Pina, didn't I? I meant Bina. Did you happen to catch the shape of that craft? That's curious. Most of the ones I get nowadays is orbs that dance around the night sky way up there. That's definitely not a plane. Definitely not a satellite. It's like way up there. No blinking lights. It's just a white from way down here. It looks like a white ball, and that's most what I get nowadays out here. I mean, I've seen several different stuff in my life around the world. Right now, the most common that I have out here is I call them white orbs because that's what they look like, but they're way up there. 10 minutes after the craft went past, four fighter jets flew north. Interesting. Rectangle. I knew it. I knew it was going to be rectangle. I knew it. That is like one of the most common ones when they talk about that stuff is rectangular. So I mean, that's cool that you got four fighter jets that took off after it. You got to see that. That's cool. I mean, I've always seen the different shapes of blinking lights. I've different shapes of white lights and different kinds of white lights, and that's always been mine. Man, that is cool. And the fact that it blocked out the stars. Yep. So that fits a lot. 500-foot long, 300-foot wide, very silent as it went by. Yeah, and I've read and listened to several encounters of the very same thing. Yeah, I mean that's not uncommon at all, and that's not. I mean that's all over the world. That kind of encounter is all over the world. That's I Sorry, I had to clear my throat for a second. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but me, every time my first experience on that stuff has always been it's been cool. A few days later, Grays, I seen three of them till a predator-looking alien chased them at 1 a.m. No kidding. What the predator-looking alien? You talking like Predator from the movie? Wow. I might. I've got a book that I'm working on, and one of the aliens. Let me get this picture pulled up. Yep, that's it. See if I can get this load up. So one of the aliens in a new book, one book that I'm working on, the book's called Ghost, and come on, come on, and this is what he looks like. Pop up, baby. Come on, you can do it. Pop up. Why is it not popping up? Oh, I got it on background. That's why. Daggone. Okay, I gotta fix that. Give me 1 second. I'll be right. I gotta fix that. That's why it wasn't popping up. There we go. Get back into here and go. Open. Oh, you poopy. You're going to be mean to me like that. Let me get back comments. I'm going to keep doing these comments. Um, you even caught a rep. What is going on with my deal? There it goes. Even caught a reptilian alien on CCTV. I actually see a lot of it. Of course, the ones that I see, it was a scout. Um, Something like that. Yeah. The gray talk by telepath. It hurts. I know this. Yeah, I've heard that. No, I've heard that before. Yeah. Oh, my. There he goes. Get back in here. I've got to get this set up right so I can display it. StreamYard is very funny when it comes to that type of stuff. Resize it. Trying to make sure I don't miss anybody while I'm working. Yeah, I mean, when they talk telepathically, I've heard that a lot. Um, some people say it hurts, some people don't. I don't know if they're meaning to on purpose, but I mean, I've heard it happen. Why are you acting up? What is going on with you today? You are moving like extremely slow for some reason. High pitched squeals. I haven't heard that a whole lot. I mean, I've heard of some stuff like that, but I've not heard a lot of it. Now, I'm going to tell you now, this picture I'm about to show is what I created through Discord. And it was for my book. Now, I need... Come on, do what I want you to do. Get back into here. Oh, that might have been why I couldn't do it. I was in the wrong one again. Come on, baby, work with me here. What's going on with this crap? Why is this not wanting to work? I can't even get back. Come on. There you go. Let's try it now. Now we'll see if it'll let me do it. Get back to my comments while I'm waiting. In Wisconsin, I lived with family who were abducted by aliens. I know I've seen them myself. No kidding. You were, and I was targeted. Wow. Well, they just like miss you. Now it should pop up. This is what I created for my book Ghost that I'm working on. And that's why when you said predatory style, I was kind of curious because that is my creation of what a type of alien that I'm writing about looks like. Oh, there we go. I'm back. That thing just started doing some weird stuff. But man, my internet is really acting up. What the heck? This whole thing's. What are you saying? Oh my God, about Ray? Now I'm working good. Wonder what was going on. No kidding. That is straight out of my head. Whenever I was trying to picture the perfect, how do I want to describe it? A perfect hunting alien. That is what I came up with out of my head. I wanted something. I've always been fascinated with the Predator series and the Alien series on the movies. Don't get me wrong. Part of it is based off of that. I'm not going to lie because every time I've ever pictured about the perfect hunting style, killing style alien, it's been that and been like that. So when I was creating my book cover, it took me a couple days to finally get it narrowed down to what I wanted. Predator looking alien stood 9 to 10 foot tall, approximately. Man, that's a big boy. That's a big boy. That's a bruiser right there. That's a big boy. But yeah, that that is my creation out of my head of my opinion of a very lethal hunting style alien. And he hunts different. He goes around galaxies hunting for food. He's a hunter. And that's going to be my next sci-fi book that I'm going to be doing. Right now. I'm trying to finish Varigian Guard. How's a Battle Book One? Um, Yellows with green flashes, changing a light spectrum from what he's seen. He was seen in multiple light, light. Yeah. You don't need up here all the time, bud. No, you don't. So give me that said look, buddy. You're not sitting still up here. You have to. You have to sit still. You don't. Come over here. Come over here. Hop up here. I'm not going to. You're being a pain in the butt. So it had a face mask too. Huh. That's cool. Guys, go on before you tear my stuff down. Go. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I've not heard of encounters like that before. So I mean that's fascinating. That's really fascinating. I'm trying to recall because I'm pretty sure I've never heard an encounter like that before. That is cool. That is really cool. What? You're making this difficult on me, dude. You're turning into an internet whore. You know that? I ain't got to be on camera. Sorry, man. I talk to my dogs like his all the time. I spoil them. The fact that he was hunting the grays, that's interesting. See, I've never heard of that before. That's cool. I love when I hear something for the first time. I really do. I love hearing stuff for the first time. So, oh, we're coming up on the 2 hour mark. Well, I say I may call this quits for tonight. Get set up for next weekend. But this has been fun. I mean, thank you, Ray, for sharing. Ozzy, if you come listen to this again later on, thank you for sharing some more of your stuff too. Towns in Minnesota had Bigfoot area, Deer River, Bena, Atkin, and Remir. A lot of them sound familiar, Ray. A lot of them really do sound familiar. Yeah. So if you're interested, we we're going to pick this back up next Saturday. I'm getting a little tired, running out of water. Um, I didn't get much sleep last night. Tossed and turned all freaking night again. Keep some stories coming. If you're interested in me sharing your stuff, email them to me on that email address I showed a little bit ago on the cryptid and the mythological at Gmail. I will do stories for you. I'll get your stories out there. But everybody that came in tonight, everybody who watched this later on, and to my new followers I've had since I done my last Bizarre and Unknown show last Sunday. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. Y'all be blessed and peace and prosperity be with you.